Hello and welcome to another episode of Auto Mundial, the home of all the latest car news and reviews. This time we head to North Wales to put the Honda Civic Type R through its paces. Is it really worth its £50,000 price tag?
We're also checking out the new EV from Cupra and the latest hybrid SUV from Lexus.
Plus, we find out why the latest Subaru Outback is the perfect car for anyone with a horse. That's all coming up later in the show. Up first though, the news.
Renault has slashed the price of its electric Megane E-Tech, undercutting rival cars from Volkswagen and Kia. The attractive French crossover did start at £37,000, but that has now been dropped to £34,395, while even bigger savings are to be had with higher trim levels. The mid-range Techno Plus trim has been reduced by £3,000 to £36,495, while the top spec Iconic has been dropped by £3,500 to £38,495. The price cuts should make some room in Renault's EV range ahead of the release of a new electric Scenic, which we expect to start at around £40,000. Since its launch a couple of years ago, Renault has shifted more than 5,000 Megane E-Techs, and with right-hand drive production now being ramped up, the price cuts should see the Renault doing well against the pricier VW ID3 and Kia Niro EV.
That's different. Off-road and snow.
It wasn't that long ago that UK buyers had a selection of jacked-up off-roady estate cars to choose from. Skoda, VW, Audi, Volvo and Mercedes, among others, all added some scratch-resistant black plastic and four-wheel drive to their family low-luggers to create some of the most versatile cars on the road.
How much is that Volkswagen estate?
Now though, with just about every car maker offering some sort of crossover or SUV, it seems to be a niche corner of the market that's all but dried up. Thankfully, however, the brand that invented the segment is still at it. Subaru.
Subaru happens to have my favourite sports rally car, Subaru Impreza.
New Subaru Outback, the latest version of the car that created the all but extinct genre. But while Subaru has stuck to its roots in terms of the car's capabilities, this is a very different car to Outbacks of old. In any of the old models, you were practically invisible. Like a chameleon, it discreetly blended into any surroundings you travelled to. Now though, the Outback has got all trendy. There's no denying that this is a very handsome car indeed, complete with lots of bright green lifestyle overland details and some seriously meaty roof rails. It is a real head-turner. Even in our short time living with the car, numerous other motorists stopped to ask us about it. So Subaru has nailed the styling, but will it still appeal to the Outback faithful, country folk? Well, despite its funkier design, it still manages to blend in well here in rural England, especially in this colour. The last thing you want to be seen in round these parts is a snowy white German saloon, and the Outback does a great job of disguising its driver's economic status. It's built to last too. Every single piece, interior and exterior trim, feels like it will survive anything, enabling you to pass it down to future generations as you would an ancestral country home. And then, of course, there's its off-road ability. It may be an estate car, but the Outback would put most off-roaders to shame with generous ground.
I can't believe you can't get those. You can only get those J2Os at this Christmas time. They're very refreshing.
Perfect for carrying a horse box across even the muddiest of gym-khana paddocks.
Yeah.
On the Inside, it's practically pleasant, although the performance does seem a little modest for a good 2.5 litre car. The four-cylinder boxer engine produces 167 bhp, eventually reaching 62 miles per hour from rest in 10.2 seconds. It isn't the most refined engine, and the stepped CVT gearbox often feels like it's working the motor quite hard for relatively little reward. Fuel economy isn't great either, with an official combined figure of 33 miles per gallon. Likewise, the interior isn't on par with anything from Germany. The big central screen is nice and there's plenty of kit thrown in, but mostly the cabin feels slightly dated. When was the last time you saw a new car with alarm sensors like this?
I was just going to say, it's like...
It's not all bad news though. The ride quality...
It looks like cars you would have had over 10 years ago.
Brilliantly comfortable.
The old plastic dashboard and everything else in it.
You'd expect, remaining surprisingly
And tiny sat-nav screen.
and delivering the sort of steering feel that made all-wheel drive Subarus so iconic back in the 90s and 2000s. That, coupled with its enormous 561-metre boot...
I say, it looks like old...
21.6-tonne third weight,
It looks like old technology inside, doesn't it? On the dashboard and that.
Non-SUVs. The latest Outback then looks set to continue to appeal to its loyal rural fan base, but with its standout handling, impressive off-road ability, and on-trend styling, it seems there's less reason than ever to buy a crossover wherever you live.
It's been 5 years since Cupra first lifted the lid on its Tabascan concept. It was a svelte coupe SUV with an electric powertrain and a striking design that we thought looked almost production ready. Well, now, finally, it is. On first impressions, it doesn't appear to be quite as curvaceous as the concept from 2019, but it retains the low roofline and some impressively large alloy wheels. There are, of course, plenty of copper accents, as we've seen in other Cupras, and some distinctive triple triangle headlights, plus a similar pattern at the back. The Tabascan sits on the VW Group's MEB platform, the same one we've seen underpinning most Volkswagen, Skoda and Audi EVs, as well as Cupra's other electric car, the Born. From launch, 2 versions of the Tabascan will be available. A base spec car with a rear-mounted e-motor producing 282 horsepower, and a dual-motor all-wheel drive version with 335.
It's got the body of a coupe.
The one to go for if you're after maximum range, with a WLTP score of 341 miles. The sportier VZ model's range drops to 321 miles, but it can hit 62 miles an hour from a standstill in 5.6 seconds. It's pretty quick to charge too. With a 135 kilowatt charger, it will go from 10 to 80% in half an hour, and 62 miles of range can be added in 7 minutes. Step inside and you find a sportier cabin than you get in alternatives from Volkswagen. A pair of stylish bucket seats are fitted as standard, upholstered in recycled fabric. Some ambient lighting is thrown in, and plenty of cockpits for good measure. Sitting in the middle of the futuristic dashboard is a whopping 15-inch touchscreen, while climate controls are operated via a backlit touch-sensitive slider. Rivaling the upcoming Polestar 4, as well as its VW Group stablemate for Volkswagen ID.5, the Tabascan is likely to be priced somewhere around the £55,000 mark. First customer deliveries are expected to start this spring, along with Cupra's new plug-in hybrid Terramar later in the year.
After the break, Japan's greatest hot hatch unleashed on the winding roads of North Wales.